I didn't go back to my own, they abandoned us. We got surrounded. All around, people are shouting, wounded, and the dead are lying everywhere. There's nowhere to go. 7 days without food. No water. No food. No supplies. In basements and dugouts. We hid wherever we possibly could.
I have weak lungs, a heart condition, hypertension, stuff like that, and I don't have knees. I have COPD. I have a shrapnel wound from Zenit that happened near Pokrovsk. There was no way out at all. Anyone who tried to break through was killed.
I didn't go back to my own, they abandoned us. We got surrounded. All around, people are shouting, wounded, and the dead are lying everywhere. There's nowhere to go. 7 days without food. No water. No food. No supplies. In basements and dugouts. We hid wherever we possibly could. There was nowhere to go. That's it. Nowhere. Birds are flying in the sky. My legs hurt. There's nowhere to go. I went. I made it. I walked across the field. I met your guys. They were coming toward me, asking where to go to surrender. They took me. Guys, go surrender. You can survive here. Otherwise, there's no way. It's really scary for me sometimes.
I was drafted in 2022 by summons. I came, and they took me right away. I was kind of hoping they wouldn't, but they did, and sent me off, not to the regular service. I have weak lungs, a heart condition, hypertension, stuff like that, and I don't have knees. I have COPD. I have a shrapnel wound from Zenit that happened near Pokrovsk. We were cut off from our own. We were receiving... Well, the guys went out before us there. We were cut off, and that was it. And we sat there. They told us, just stay put. Everything's fine. Like, report in. Everything will be okay. We'll get you out and so on. But no one did anything. Then some guys came in. I asked them, are you Russians? They said, yes. They asked, are you going to surrender or not? You won't be tortured or maimed. They said, no, it's fine. Shine your flashlight. I'll surrender my weapon. I realized that we had been abandoned. Resistance was already pointless, just to lie down in the cold earth. Well, being abandoned like that, it's not much of a prospect. Back home, for example, my brother's wife is old, 73 years old. The apartment is in my name, and if something happens to me, they'll take the apartment and she'll be out on the street. Well, because we were surrounded, the only option was to surrender because it was terrifying. Shells flying from all sides, artillery and drones overhead. Well, if you try to go back to your own side, they won't believe, for example, that you made it out. The only chance was to surrender to the Russians as a prisoner. There was nothing delivered to the front line. Nothing was dropped off because we were surrounded. There was no way to get supplies in. We went 3 days without eating or drinking. But we found whatever we could in neighboring dugouts, somewhere in the tree lines, just whatever we could find. It was the same with cigarettes, with food, with water, with everything. There were sleeping bags, the ones we had with us, and that was it. Well, also, trying to make do with something, but still, it was tough. Well, for us, no, they didn't drop anything because your FPV drones would shoot them down as they approached. Maybe 2 or 3 would get through, maybe 1. But how many positions were there? The guy said over the radio that no one was getting any deliveries. When they relayed messages, I heard over the radio that there were no deliveries. No food, no medicine, nothing at all. Maybe someone somewhere got something, but definitely not everyone. So either surrender, die of starvation and deprivation, or get killed by a mine. The only prospect was to end up in the ground. Well, we heard over the radio that someone tried to get out, but it didn't end well. We heard apparently that there were casualties, there were screams and all that. So we realized there was absolutely no way out. And even if you tried to get out, even if you somehow managed to bandage him up and provide some first aid, he would still, unfortunately, die there. He was left out there alone and exposed with no one able to reach him. There was really no point in trying to get him since we were completely surrounded from all sides, making any rescue attempt impossible. The guys who were closer to him probably did what they could to help, but there was absolutely no way to get him out, no way at all. It was a hopeless situation, and despite any efforts, there was simply nothing more that could be done for him. Well, here they treat us normally, kind of. I expected it to be, I thought it would be much worse. We were often told on many different occasions that prisoners are, in most cases, mostly not taken. In the city, we hid in basements, in bushes, wherever we could, because it was impossible to get out. If someone tried to run across or something, an FPV drone would hit them, or a mortar, or someone would get shot. That's why we sat and hid in the basements. No, that was it. There was basically no resistance left. It just turned into killing there. There was no way out at all. Anyone who tried to break through was killed. Well, they brought us out, fed us, gave us water, gave us cigarettes. No one mistreated or beat us. Everything's fine. I advise you to surrender. No one here is mocking or killing anyone. I hope that for me the war is completely over.